Today's card of the day is Wavebreak Hippocamp. 2 and a blue for an enchantment creature, Horsefish. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, draw a card. 2/2. At first glance, I thought this was Hippochamp. I don't know why. Maybe because it just, I don't know, camp? Hippocamp? What is a camp? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it's a horsefish. Not much you can say about that. On the other flip side, it's a horsefish that draws you card for doing things you already want to do. I know there's a few decks that have Rashmi the Eternities Crafter, which is a 4 mana spell that essentially lets you cascade, kind of. This sort of does that. And those decks also only play Rashmi as one of the 99, which is really weird because it's like it sort of depends on you drawing her to sort of get her benefits, right? Yet the deck is still named after her. So it's sort of understandable that like this card is pretty strong if the namesake of that card is like a thing, right? And this does almost what she does, except you have to be on your opponent's turn, and it's a 2/2, so not as thick as Rashmi, but still pretty strong, and less colors as well. So I think all in all, this card is pretty strong. I have played it in my own personal Rashmi deck, and I've had mixed results. On one hand, when I have it with Rashmi, it feels like, of course, like a win more, where I'm churning through my deck with Rashmi, but also churning through with Wavebreak Hippocamp. It felt really good. And perhaps it did, because I'm not sure if you guys have played that deck before or saw me play it, I guess once on this channel. It can be really slow, and this is one of those cards that definitely lets you rummage through your deck like super fast. However, it is a 2/2, and so when you're playing with a meta full of 1/1s and perhaps even 2/2s, maybe you're playing against a bunch of aggro Hateberry decks, those pyroclasms will come in and just clap Wavebreak Hippocamp, and you don't want that to happen to your fish. I thought water type was immune to fire. I don't know. This card is spicy. I think you want to more so lean towards the higher end competitive metas for this card. But I mean, if you're playing just a spell slingery deck, maybe even like a creature slingery, if you have a bunch of flash creatures with this card, this can be really good because playing one spell out of your hand and drawing another card just essentially means all your spells that do this essentially say draw a card with them, and that's pretty spicy. Well, the first one each turn, right? So you can get a max of 3 draws per round, depending on how big your pod is. I'm assuming a 4-person pod, and that's good. That's real good. Like imagine your whole deck's a draw card on each spell. That means you're always netting a card if someone like destroys your card and they take a single targeted removal on your card. Like they're going down a card, and you're not really down a card because you already drew off that card. You benefited off that card, which is why this card is pretty spicy. I don't know why it's not being played too much. I feel like it should. I got a foil right when it came out, and it's been doing wonders despite some of the mixed results. When I say the mixed results, because I had a pretty pyroclasmy heavy time with it. Um, but yeah, other than that, it is 1 mana cheaper and also less restrictive than Rashmi, which is something going for it. But generally, like this card is probably fine. The fact that it's 3 mana and that's sort of the, I guess, game altering turn. I think the saying is like, oh, CEDH or high power magic is a 3-turn format. That means when you play this at sorcery speed and you have nothing to back it up and it just dies, ooh, it feels a little backbreaking, not gonna lie. A little bit. But maybe it's just me being unlucky and not having my force of wills and what have you available. But on the other hand, maybe it's just not that strong, right? Because you have to do it on your opponent's turn. If your opponent destroys it and doesn't let you get your card draw, it's like, well, it looks like there's going to be a lightning rod because no one wants to get your card draw, right? People don't want you to have this sort of effect. So it's got its pros and cons. It makes it a lightning rod, but also you have to understand like maybe you shouldn't play it in the first place if it's the strongest thing on the board because it's a creature. Um, of course, not susceptible to removal isn't really a argument because everything dies removal. But if this lands, I'm just saying you're gonna have a good time. I think you're gonna have a good time. Usually, most of the time. But sometimes people are just gonna hit it and because they're gonna know it better. But like for that reason, I don't know why people aren't playing it too much. I like this card a lot. I think this card is pretty decent when you get it running. But of course, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Is it too weak? Is it 2/2 stat line really that bad? I guess it's bad sometimes if everyone's playing removal, but if not everyone's playing removal, and or maybe people have already played too much removal in your game and you play this, it's definitely a chef's kiss. Definitely chef's kiss. Run this with your Rashmi decks. That way you can play it on turn 2 with your Mana Dork, or with your other Simic or green value engine cards. You're gonna like a lot. You're gonna like what you're doing in Magic, and I liked what I was doing when I got this to work. So yeah. Anyway, so you guys think about this card in the comments below. Is it spicy? Is it not? So let me know. Peace out.